Men, when did you last feel genuinely strong? Not just going through the motions, not just keeping up, actually sharp, energized, like yourself. If you're in your 50s and that's a harder question than it should be, this video is for you. Because the men that I see in their 60s and 70s who feel better than they did in their 40s, they didn't just get lucky. They didn't stumble into it. Someone actually looked at what was happening inside their body before the symptoms made the decisions for them. That's what this entire series has been building towards. And today we're bringing it all home. I'm Dr. Myra Reed. I practice early detection longevity medicine. And what that means is simple. I find what others miss. This is my week 4 of my men's health series. And if you've been with me all month, you already have more information about your body than most men get in a decade of annual physicals. If you're just finding this, subscribe and go back to week 1 because what we're building is a complete picture. And today I want to show you how it all connects. Here's something I noticed in my practice. Men come in accomplished, smart, disciplined, and somewhere along the way they absorb a story about aging. Not from one place, but from everywhere. Slow down, that's just what happens. Your numbers are normal for your age. I want to stop on that last one because normal for your age is one of the most dangerous phrases in medicine. Normal means average, and average men in their 50s are tired, inflamed, losing muscle, and losing ground. That's not the standard that I hold for my patients. This is the turn from problem to possibility. Here's what the research actually shows. Your body is still incredibly responsive after 40, at 50, at 60, and even beyond. What changes is not your ceiling. What changes is what your body needs to perform. The window isn't closing. The rules are just changing. And when you understand the new rules, you can play a completely different game. This month, we covered the pieces that actually drive how you age as a man. Hormones, specifically testosterone, and what declining levels look like before you even feel them. Muscle, and why sarcopenia is the progressive loss of muscle mass, is the one most underdiagnosed longevity threat that we have. Sleep, the one variable most men completely underestimate. And motivation and brain health, because energy isn't just physical. Here's what I want you to see about all of this. None of it exists in isolation. Your testosterone affects your muscle affects your metabolism affects your sleep affects your brain, and your brain affects your motivation to do any of this. It's a system, and you either build the system or the system quietly breaks down. Now, here's what most people, including most doctors, get completely wrong about where longevity actually comes from. One marker that predicts health outcomes, cognitive function, and lifespan better than almost anything else that we can measure. A large meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine looked at the relationship between strength training and mortality. What they found, just 30 to 60 minutes of strength training per week, not per day, but per week, was associated with a 10 to 17% lower risk of dying from anything early cause, such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, all-cause mortality across the board. And here's what makes that remarkable. That's the effect from the minimum effective dose. And men who did more up to a point saw even greater reductions. Muscle isn't just aesthetics, muscle is medicine. And in my practice, when I look at men's lab work and his body composition data side by side, I can almost always tell which direction he's headed, not based on his age, but based on his muscle. Quick question. How many minutes of strength training are you actually getting each week right now? Even if it's 0, that's fine. Drop the number in the comments. I read all of them. And I want to know where you're standing from now. I want to tell you about a patient. Let's call him David. David is 54, executive, smart guy, looked fine. He came in because he was tired in a way that sleep wasn't fixing it. His motivation had flattened. He gained weight without changing anything he was doing. His doctor had run a standard panel and told him, "Your labs are normal for your age." When we ran the comprehensive picture, not a standard annual lab panel, here's what we found. Testosterone in the lower third of normal range. Free testosterone even lower. Muscle mass had been happening silently for years, detectable on a body composition analysis and invisible on standard scale. Elevated inflammatory markers, early stage insulin resistance. None of these were flagged on his previous labs because individually, each one was technically within the normal range. But together they told a story about a man whose system was quietly declining. And here's the thing about the story. By the time those numbers move into the abnormal range on a standard test, you've already lost years. That's what early detection means to me, not waiting for a crisis, but finding the direction before the destination is set. David, with a protocol built around his specific findings, rebuilt his muscle, brought his testosterone in optimal ranges, and resolved his insulin resistance. 8 months later, he told me he felt better than he had at 44. He didn't need a miracle. He needed someone to actually look. This is what I mean when I talk about smarter, stronger, longer. These aren't just words. They're a clinical framework. Smarter means making decisions based on data about your specific body habit, not just generic advice. Not what worked for someone else, what your labs, your markers, your body composition tell you about what you actually need. That's smarter. Stronger means muscle, intentionally built and maintained, because strength is not vanity. Strength is the physical foundation that protects your heart, your brain, your hormones, and your metabolism. Strength is the variable that shows up in the mortality data over and over again. Longer doesn't mean just more years. It means more years where you are fully present, cognitively sharp, physically capable, energetically alive, not a longer decline, a longer peak. That's longer. Smarter, stronger, longer. That's the goal. And if I had to simplify everything we've covered this month into what actually moves the needle, it comes down to 4 things. Strength training, challenging your muscles progressively. This is non-negotiable for men over 40. The research is there. First, protein. Most men over 40 are significantly under-eating protein, not slightly, but significantly. We look at the body composition data alongside dietary intake. It explains a lot more about where the muscle is coming from. And sleep, the most underrated hormone regulator in existence. You cannot optimize testosterone, growth hormone, cortisol, or insulin without proper sleep. Cardiovascular fitness, zone 2, cardio, the kind where you can still hold a conversation. Do this 3 or 4 times a week. It has measurable effects on metabolic health, brain health, and longevity. That is the system, and it works. Not because it's complicated, because it addresses the actual levers. And here's where most men get stuck. They look for something more complicated or faster. Because here's what I want you to take from this entire series. The best time to build this system is before you need it. The second best time is right now. In coastal personalized medicine at my practice, this is exactly how we approach it. We don't wait for symptoms to break. We find what's shifting before it becomes a problem. We look at the full picture and we build a plan that's specific to you, not to all the men in general, but to you. Because that's what early detection longevity medicine actually means, finding what others miss before it costs you your years. This is the final video in Men's Month series. And if you've watched all 4, I want you to know something. The fact that you're here, learning this, thinking about this, that already puts you in a different category than most men your age. Most men will wait. They will wait until the symptoms are loud enough that they can't ignore them. They'll wait until a diagnosis forces their hand. You don't have to be that man. Your best decade is not behind you. It's being built right now. It's being built by what you choose to do this week, this month, this year. And I would love to be part of your building what make you who you can be better. I have a free men's hormone quiz on my website. It takes about 3 minutes to do it. It's designed to help you start connecting what you're feeling to what you might actually be driving you. The link is in the description. If you want to go deeper, if you're ready to actually find out what your numbers say, a consultation information is there too. You can make that. You can call my office or go online. In the meantime, subscribe, because next month I'm diving into a topic a lot of you have been hearing about: peptides, what they are, what they actually do, and who they really help. If you're interested in improving energy, recovery, and long-term health, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss this. So share this series with the man in your life who needs it, because this is a message I want every man over 50 to hear. Don't let your first symptom be your last. The goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live smarter, stronger, longer. I'll see you in the next week's series and share the information next on peptides. So stay tuned.